Alright, so this is patch 6.20. Basic things. Additional features will be implemented in future updates. Variant dungeons, Criterion dungeons, Manderville weapon quests. Ooh! And Omicron tribal quests are scheduled to be released in patch 6.25, so things to look forward to. Page previously indicated that Pandemonium Abyssos Savage would be accessible on Tuesday, August 30th at 1 a.m. However, the correct date is August 30th at 3 a.m. So it's a 2-hour difference. We had previously listed an incorrect time for the Savage release. The correct time is August 30th. Okay. Alright, I'm not going to play the video. If you want to watch the video, it's going to be on YouTube. It's patch 6.2 buried memory. Alright, so legend for what's going to be there. New main scenario quests have been added. We can bypass that. Chronicles of the New Era quests have been added. And this is the second stage of the 8-man raids. Tatar's Grand Adventure side quest. Beast Tribe quest category has been renamed Tribal Quest. In accordance with this change, adjustments have been made to various texts throughout the game. Main scenario quest Steps of Faith has been revamped. In accordance with changes to various dungeons and trials, certain quests have been revised. These adjustments will not affect the overall story. Oh, right. When we get down to the dungeons, that's probably going to be something that we talk about. For players progressing through A Realm Reborn, duty list journal. As you may find, the quest information has been updated. Okay. Following adjustments have been made to Chronicles of the New Era, return to Evilist quests. The NPC offering the quest has been changed. If you're on certain quests, you'll have to abandon it and retake it, it looks like. Players who are undertaking the quest My Power, My Pleasure, My Pain will be unable to progress. However, it is possible to accept the subsequent quest. Interesting. Players who have already accepted these quests may complete them, however, they cannot be reaccepted if abandoned. They removed some quests as well. There were quests that were kind of strange and didn't make any sense for the story that you're going through. Fate. Players can no longer collect items as Disciple of the Hand or Land from certain fates. New items are available from certain gemstone traders. Okay, that's good. We'll get to that, and I need to clean my glasses. 1 second. Treasure Hunt. Rewards for Excitotron 6000 have been adjusted. Rewards for Kumbira Skin treasure maps have been adjusted. New items added to the grand... Oh, very nice. New Orchestrion rolls. I'm guessing that these will give you a random Orchestrion because... Or, you know, you've got to go to each one of the different... you have to collect it from each one. It's a lot of seals. New charge symbol options have been added to company crests. The following additions and adjustments have been made to subaquatic voyages. New areas, new items, and the max submersible rank has been increased to 100. If you've got a free company that is doing explorations, that's going to matter to you. You can get all sorts of cool stuff from the explorations. Housing. To address a recent issue with the housing lottery system, an NPC which players may voluntarily return the deposit they were accidentally refunded has been added. Players may speak to the housing lottery clerk in Imperium to voluntarily return the deposit. The amount returned will be compensated with an exchange of an item. Okay, don't know what that... If you want to learn more about that housing lottery system issue, it has its own thread, it looks like. New furnishings from design contests. So it took them 3 years to get the furnishings from rendered and added in. So there's going to be a lot of new things to put inside and outside your house. And we get a portrait of Tataru. Interesting. New things to add, a crumbled tower outside, new orchestrion rolls, new seeds for flower pots, new aquarium fish have been added, a steam fish. Gold saucer, following adjustments have been made to the gate schedule, every hour on the hour, Earth time. Cliffhanger, Air Force One, Leap of Faith. Hourly, 20 minutes past the hour, slices right, cliffhanger, any way the wind blows. And hour, so every 20 minutes there are going to be 3 different things to do, which will help with certain achievements. The registration periods for the gates has been reduced to 8 minutes, probably to prevent some people from doing multiples. An instant portrait will now be displayed when beginning a game of Domin Mahjong. New prizes are available for using. New prizes are available for purchase using MGP, and new cards have been added. Island Sanctuary has been added. The Island Sanctuary allows you to create your own personal paradise amidst the natural beauty of the Cialdales. Here you can collect resources and materials, build accommodations, grow crops, and more. The goods produced on your island can also be exchanged for various rewards. Cultivate the land, or enjoy the slow life as your minions roam free. The choice is entirely up to you. Requirements: Seeking Sanctuary. Level 1, Old Charlayan. Clueless Crier. You have to have completed the Endwalker. Basically, you have to have completed the 6.0 quest line. Players can travel to their island sanctuary at any time by speaking with Balden in Lower Lenaskia. Classes and jobs. While it is possible to craft and gather on your island sanctuary, you are not required to unlock Disciples of the Hand or land to do so. You are free to enjoy these activities using any job or class. Realizing your vision will help you make your sanctuary the best it can be. Visions will appear as objectives in your duty list. As you realize visions, additional goals and development features will become available. Okay. So it's like a little minigame within 14. The Isle Keeps Index is an island-specific HUD element that allows you to confirm important information, switch gameplay modes, and manage your island's various features. Your selected mode influences how you interact with features and creatures on your island. Main menu consists of buttons by which you can confirm important information and manage various aspects of your island. Confirm your sanctuary rank and available currencies. Your sanctuary rank indicates your experience with subsisting in an island environment and improving your personal sanctuary. Earn island experience by engaging in various activities on your island. The higher your rank, the more features and options will become available to you. As development of your island's sanctuary progresses, you will earn 2 types of currency: Seafarer's Cowries and Islander's Cowries. These Cialdales-specific currencies to be used at shops that become available on your island. The hideaway is your base of operations on your island. Here you may build facilities, care for animals, grow crops, and more. You may expand your hideaway as you make progress perfecting your island sanctuary. So I've got a feeling that this is sort of a meeting halfway for the housing problems that have come up, to allow people that want housing and need to do people that want housing but to do certain things like grow crops. This gives them an option to do so without having to go to the market board to buy woefully overpriced items. Gathering. Players can collect resources and materials on their island, which are then recorded in the Islekeeper's Index. You can also confirm resource locations and necessary tools. Crafting. Accessing the Sanctuary crafting log, you can create items using materials you've acquired in your time spent on the island. Construction. A variety of structures can be built on your island. Players must first access the logboard in front of the vacant pot, wherein they can confirm the materials are required and how long the construction will last. Okay. It is possible to plant and water seeds to grow a variety of produce. You can capture animals on your island and send them to live in the pasture. By taking good care of these animals, you can collect materials from them, which can be used in a variety of ways. So it's literally Stardew Valley. One of each minion up to 40 can be released to roam free in various areas of your island. As they while away the hours wandering about the island, you may find they behave differently when left to their own devices. The cozy cabin is the primary facility of your hideaway. Here you may access the orchestrion to play your favorite tunes, exchange various items with merchants stationed there, and more. The workshop provides a place for mammoths in your employ to create handicrafts out of the materials obtained on your island. After conveying a schedule of production to the tactful taskmaster, handicrafts will be automatically created by the mammoths on the staff in the workshop. The granary. After constructing a granary, you may send a team of exploratory mammoths on foraging expeditions to gather materials. After choosing your desired expedition area and the number of days you wish your mammoths to forage, they will venture out and gather materials, returning once per day until the foraging expedition is over. As you continue to engage in the above activities on your island sanctuary, it will be possible to renovate your facilities to higher levels. Further explanations of island sanctuary features can be found as you continue to realize your vision or by viewing the Islekeeper's Index. You can leave your island sanctuary at any time by boat or via use of return or teleport. It is also possible to visit islands of acquaintances. Each island has room for up to 16 players to explore at a time. Island sanctuary activities such as crafting and gathering cannot be carried out when visiting another island. As of patch 6.2, players will not be able to hear orchestrion music when visiting another island. This will be made possible in a future update. And the mist addendum up there. Players who are inactive for 30 minutes will be moved to Lower Lenoskia automatically. So, to reduce weight on the server that they're using for this, people are going to be kicked out if they are idle too long. Speak with Baldin in Lower Lenoskia to visit other island sanctuaries. After completing the main scenario quest, The Ultimate Weapon, it is possible to speak with Baldin and visit other island sanctuaries even if you do not possess your own. So, The Ultimate Weapon, I believe, is the end of 2.0. So, anybody that finishes their quests up to that level. Main story quests at 50. Permitted Island. You may visit the island's sanctuary of friends, free company members, and party members. It should be noted, however, the owner of the island sanctuary must enable access for others to visit. When selecting a destination, a glowing icon will indicate which islands you may visit. So you can see right here, you've got one that's grayed out and then two that are green. After reaching a sufficient sanctuary rank, you can grant others access to your island sanctuary. Okay, so you've got to level it up first. New objectives pertaining to the island sanctuary have been added to the other category of the challenge log. New hairstyles. New hairstyle options have been added for male and female Viera. And for the Hrothgar, they get the hairstyles added in patch 6.1 have been adjusted to show their ears. Okay. Yeah, the Viera and the Hrothgar were just kind of an issue all around when it comes to their hair in their heads. The following additions and adjustments have been made to duty support. New duties have been added. The duty support window now lists duties to be added in future updates. A notification regarding future duty support will also be displayed when accessing the dungeon entrance. Allied NPCs. Okay. Duty support is the playing it with NPCs. Allied NPCs in duty support will now speak at certain points through the following duties, and it lists all the ones that they do. Allied NPCs that were not selected to accompany players into the duty will no longer appear after completing the instance. All right. Adjustments have been made to the Wondrous Tales. Prizes available in exchange for Chloe's gold certificates of commendation, silver and bronze certificates have been adjusted. The following duties have been added as objectives for Wondrous Tales: Aglaia and the Fell Court of Troya. That is probably one of the new ones. Unless I'm just not remembering a name. Following additions and adjustments have been made to Faux Hollows. Ultimus Bane is going to be switching to Containment Bay S1T7 Unreal, which I believe is the Sephiroth fight. So that's going to be new items are available in exchange for faux leaves. That's stuff I haven't delved into myself. I'm not big on the really deep. I raided for a long time, and the toxicity that comes with raid groups, even casual raid groups, just doesn't. It's made me bitter towards it. So, character portraits have been implemented for battle dialogue during instance quest battles from the 4X series. Character portraits for instance quest battles in prior patches will be added in future updates. So they're working backwards, it sounds like. New emotes have been added. Using the /draw emote while your weapon is sheathed will allow you to maintain a weapon drawn pose. Okay, that I like. Actions and traits have been adjusted as follows. This is what everybody wants to know, the battle system. Alright, starting with patch 6.2, the job guide will now include further explanations of action changes and adjustments. You can go to the job guide, which is another link from this patch notes. Tank rules. Provoke. Enmity generation has been increased. Alright, so my understanding of the way Provoke worked in this game was it just moved you to the top of the list. If it now actually generates enmity beyond that, great. Paladin. Holy Spirit. Potency has been increased to 280. Requiescat potency has been increased to 560. Blade of Faith. It's been increased. Blade of Truth, damage increased. Blade of Valor, damage increased. Warrior. Marauder Warrior, I should say. Maim. Potency has been increased. Combo potency has also been increased. Storm's Path. There's an increase. Storm's Eye. Increase. Shake It Off. The effects of this action will now be applied more quickly. Good. Because I always hated hitting a button that is like a defensive button and not having the game register that it went out. Like, if you've watched my videos, you've seen more than once that I pop Hallowed Ground, and I immediately die after I pop Hallowed Ground, because the game client side doesn't register that I've used the ability until after I'm dead, and it still starts the countdown for it. Alright, for Dark Knight, Abyssal Drain. Potency has been increased to 240. That is a significant increase from 150. Living Shadow. The effect duration has been reduced to 20 seconds. The Simulacrum will now attack the first target the player attacks after it is summoned. The Simulacrum will no longer attack with Quietus. The Simulacrum's Shadowbringer potency has been increased from 450 to 500. Potency of all Simulacrum actions other than Shadowbringer have been increased from 300 to 350. Okay, so it lasts less time, but it does more damage per attack. Gunbreaker. Brutal Shell, damage increase. Solid Barrel, damage increase. Jugular Rip, range increase. Same with Abdomen Tear and Eye Gouge, all up to 5 yalms. Faded Circle, potency increase. Bloodfest, recast timer has been increased. So it's going to be every 2 minutes instead of every 90 seconds. Hypervelocity range has been increased to 5. Blasting Zone, potency has been increased to 720. Double Down. Reduction in potency after the first target has been changed from 20% to 15%. So you'll be doing more damage with Double Down marginally. Dragoon. Jump. This action will no longer be replaced by Mirage Dive while under the effect of Dive Ready. Following this change, Mirage Dive must now be set to the hotbar separately. The recast timer of jump and high jump no longer affect the execution of Mirage Dive. High jump. This action will no longer be replaced by Mirage Dive. Okay, so jump and high jump. I'm going to have to look into that, but it basically sounds like they used to have it as a dependency and they changed it away from being a dependency. So they changed it one way and then changed it back. Because previous expansions, it's been separate skills. Samurai, Tenka Goken. Potency has been increased. Hisatsu Kyuten. Potency has been increased. Hisatsu Gyoren. Reduction in potency after the first target has changed from 50% to 25%, so more damage from the AoE. And then Kaishi Goken. Potency has been increased. Reaper. Slice. Potency is up. Waxing Slice. Damage is up. Infernal Slice. Damage is up. Machinist. Rook Auto Turret. Duration no longer increases to a maximum of 15 seconds and is now fixed at 9 seconds. Base potency has been cut in half. So it's from 70 to 35. Potency now increases as battery gauge exceeds required cost at time of deployment up to a maximum of 75. So the base potency is diminished, but you have the possibility of going higher. But it only lasts for 9 seconds. One moment. Rook Overdrive. Base potency has been cut in half. But the battery gauge will affect maximum potency. So base potency is in half, but maximum is still the same at 320. Rook Overload, same thing there. The Automaton Queen will now always attack the first target the player attacks after is summoned. Duration no longer to a maximum of 20 seconds. It's now fixed 12 seconds. Potency of the actions are now increased as battery gauge exceeds required cost at time of deployment. So no change to the base damage of the Queen. It just lasts shorter, and if you summon it with a larger battery gauge, it will do more damage. Roller Dash, potency. Yeah, all the stuff for Machinist are having their skills, but increasing the damage based upon the battery gauge. White Mage, Liturgy of the Bell. The effect duration has been increased to 20 seconds. That will be fun. Scholar, Embrace. Oh, Embrace, Seraphic Veil, and Fey Union no longer generate enmity. So, using these skills will not have you... the enemies won't turn and attack you. Alright, Astrologian. Redraw. The card drawn will never have the same astro sign as the card presently held. Why would you have it any other way? I mean, you want to redraw because you don't like the card in your hand, so redrawing it and getting the same card is just kind of like a haha from... Yeah, it's just insulting. Minor Arcana. Action now changes the drawn Arcanum. Okay. Sage, Cardia, no longer generates enmity when activating its HP restoration effect. Holos, or Holos. The additional effect erects a magic barrier which nullifies damage, equaling the amount of HP restored, has been added with a duration of 30 seconds. A new trait has been added. Death Scythe Mastery 2, level 84. Increases the potency of Slice to 320, Waxing Slice to 160, and Infernal Slice to 180. The following actions have been removed. Astrologian's Crown Play. I don't know what that is, otherwise I would comment on it. Descriptions of certain actions and status effects have been adjusted. The effects of the actions have not been changed, though. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the actions and traits window. Oh, so it looks like it's following a skill tree and showing you the So a compact view option has been added, and you can see the chain, so you know how to set up your bars in advance instead of having to, scratch your head if you've got a new class to play. The recast timer displayed in the middle of the actions icons can now be enlarged. Okay, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. The size adjustment is in the character configuration menu. So you go to character configuration, and it's going to be down here under display. HP restoring over time will no longer generate enmity with each tick of healing. Please note the initial execution of these actions will still generate enmity. So regens no longer generate threat. When under an effect that increases the chance to land a critical hit or direct hit, actions that are guaranteed to land a critical hit or direct hit will now deal increased damage. The increase in damage is calculated based on the increased chance to land a critical hit or direct hit. Oh, okay. This is going to dramatically increase Bard DPS. I'm happy about that. It's going to increase DPS all around, but that is going to greatly affect my favorite class. When executing actions that are guaranteed to land a critical or direct hit, they will now deal damage. They will now deal increased damage based on the direct hit. Okay, that was... Oh no, that's... When executing actions that are guaranteed to land a critical or direct hit, they will now deal increased damage based on direct hit rate and critical rate attributes. So these two are basically saying similar things, but this one is just saying that they increase damage, and this is saying how it increases damage. The location of enemies in the following areas have been adjusted. Mordona and Mare Lamentorium. A new dungeon, the Fell Court of Troya, has been added. Players may enter this dungeon with trust or duty support. Requirements: in search of Azdaja. Radzat Han. The players must first complete the main scenario quest, a Satrap's Duty. Item level sync has been added to the following duties: Smileton, the Stigma Dreamscape, and Alzadal's Legacy. A new trial has been added. It's hidden, meaning it's going to be the main part of the main story quest. So, yep. Item exchange. The totem received upon completing this trial can be exchanged for rewards when speaking, and you only get the totems from the extreme modes, I believe. Yeah. So this is the basic one, and this is the extreme version, because average item level of 585, average item level of 600. And then we've got Containment Bay S1, T7 Unreal. So until the next major patch, you get to test your metal against Sephiroth. 8 players, and you need to talk to the fantastic Mr. Foe. Mr. Foe. Unless they are really meaning to pronounce it as Fox. The drop rate for Links of Eternal Darkness Flute and Links of Divine Flute has been increased. So that means that the some of the special mounts from the extreme bosses are going to be increased, so better chance of getting them. New raid dungeon, Pandemonium Abyssos, has been added. So that's going to be 4 that unlock later next week, I think it said. They're going to become available after the 30th. And you've got the rewards. This is just the new gear that you obtain from the It's new raid gear, basically. Raid Dungeon Pandemonium Abysso Savage has been added. Oh, no. Savage is what's going to be added next week. You can get into this today. I'm probably going to have to wait until later this week to get this taken care of. Because this week just turned into way too much to do. Ooh, I like the look of that boss. All right, so this is entry requirements for Savage, and loot that you can get. So entry requirements 90, average item level 858 or 585 or higher, 8-player. Enjoy the storyline. This one has been fun. Just going over what you can get. The following duties have been added to Raid Finder. The Unknown Trial, Containment Bay Unreal, and the Savage. Following duties have been added to the Duty Finder. Ensinger's Aria, and then all 4 of the Asphodelos circles. Players will now receive the power of the Echo in the event all party members are incapacitated during the following trials. Ensinger's Aria. Each time players restart the aforementioned trial, they will be granted 5% Echo up to 25%. If the player restarts after battling for less than 3 minutes, they do not get the effect. So if you die too quickly, you don't get the effect. Following adjustments have been made to Aglaya, and this is going to be weekly restrictions have been removed from gear drop and coin drops. Okay, the weekly restriction obtaining Dragon Song tokens from Dragon Song Reprise Ultimate has been removed. The Gladiator's arms and shields yielded by treasure coffers will now appear together as an item, as a set item. So if you've played the game long enough and you've gotten to the end of a dungeon, you'll see that you'll have a sword and a shield, and you have to roll on them separately. And, you know, if you're trying to collect for something that, like, you want to get the gear for a gladiator or paladin, and you don't want to play it yet, you sometimes don't get the item that you want. But this way, you'll get them both regardless. It gives you something that you can open in the dungeon. So, Allegan Tomestones of Causality have been added. You can obtain 450 of them per week and carry a maximum of 2,000. And you can trade. Well, we'll get to that. Moreover, players can only receive Tomestones of Causality after reaching level 90 with at least 1 Disciple of War or Magic. So you can't collect them before you hit 90. Following adjustments have been made to Allegan Tomestones. All right, Astronomy is still obtainable and exchangeable. Maximum. Wait. Okay. The weekly cap has been removed, and you can only have 2,000 max. The aphorism can be exchanged for Tomestones of Astronomy after the patch last night. Allegory can be exchanged for Tomestones of Poetics. Revelation can be traded for Poetics, and Poetics has been what they've been using since the end of the 2.x. So, aphorism are no longer going to be dropping. The Allegory and Revelations, if you still have those, you can still trade those in. If you do not, I mean, if you've got older stones, they just rotted, I'm sure. Poetics are always going to be there, it seems like, which I'm okay with. The duties listed in Duty Roulette Expert have been changed as follows. Okay, before it was Dead End, Smalton, Stigma Dreamscape, and Alcidel's Legacy, and now it's just the Legacy and the Fell Court of Troya. The required average item level to register for Expert has been increased to 575. Duty Roulette level 90 dungeons has been added. Dead End, Smalton, and Stigma. The bonus for it is Astronomy and Causality 115 respectively. Following additions have been made to the Duty Roulette trials. Blank has been added. The Steps of Faith has been removed. Well, That I was not expecting. So the Steps of Faith is, you can search up the video that I did for it. It was a very difficult to, there was a lot of logistics that you needed to do. And if you didn't know what was going on, paying attention to what's being said by the NPCs kind of helps, but how many of us pay attention to what the NPCs are saying in a dungeon? But that was probably the most intensive, just run around and do stuff type of non-combat combat. You had to man cannons, you had to man dragon towers, and you had to, yeah, it's interesting. The following duty has been added to Duty Roulette Alliance raids: Aglaya. Sorry, I do have a bit of dyslexia that comes out. The following duties have been added to Duty Roulette normal raids: Abyssos, 5th through 8th Circle. The duties listed within Duty Roulette Mentor have been changed as follows: Felcourt Troya, the Unknown Trial, and then those. So 6 more to add to in order to unlock Mentor has been done, and you have to be 585 to enter Mentor. And if you decide, if you unlock Mentor Roulette and you use it, do not ditch your party. Mentor Roulette, you're supposed to be there to help people that don't know the fights to do the fights. And more often than not, I've joined one that was a Mentor Roulette, and the person that joined as the mentor just leaves because they don't want to do it. Like Ormvale is one of them, or the Ape Man with one of the final battles in Heaven's Word against what is his name? I'm blanking on it. But the trial where you fight the dragon who transforms into the dragoon and then back to a dragon. Yeah, that on extreme. All right, so this is the Allegan Tombstone received from Duty Roulette being adjusted. It is just changing the type you receive, not the amount it looks like. So you still get astronomy and causality and poetics. Same thing happens for crystalline conflict, frontline, and oh, I hope that is. I hope they're bringing Rival Wings back. The number of types of Allegan Tombstones awarded for defeating elite marks has been adjusted, so it's not changing the amount, it's just changing what you get. And the types of received from deep dungeons have been adjusted from aphorism and astronomy to astronomy and causality. And from Excitotron, it's going to causality only. Falling Trials have been added to Stone, Sky, and Sea, which, if you're doing raiding, this is a great thing to practice with. You don't have to get into a group. You can actually learn the mechanics outside the duty. Adjustments have been made to the following instant dungeons and trials: the 1,000 Maws of Totorak. A shield for gladiators and paladins has been added to treasure coffers. Okay. Snowcloak. The Yeti boss battle has been adjusted. The Fenrir boss battle has been adjusted. Certain dungeon mechanics have been adjusted. Okay. I am going to make myself a nice little checklist. Open up this. So we want to do Snowcloak. 1,000 Maws hasn't changed. It's just extra loot added. So Snowcloak has been changed. Keeper of the Lake, Einhander boss, Magitek Gunship. Okay. So we have got some duties that I need to rerun. Keeper of the Lake. This is also why I wanted to look at this. Sohm All. There have been adjustments. The The Eerie. Rangadin boss has been adjusted. Behavior of certain monsters. Yep, we gotta do that one. The Vault. Positioning of certain monsters has been adjusted. Okay, so we've got to do that one. Thorn March Hard. The battle has been adjusted. That's the one that I heard about. Yeah, that one, sounds like they completely redid the entire fight. Containment Bay S1T7 Extreme. The status effect Force Against Might and Force Against Magic will no longer be removed if the afflicting player's HP reaches 0. The appearance of Sephiroth's Earthshaker attack has been adjusted to improve the visibility of its area of effect. Okay, that is good. So what this means is that if you get killed by Force of Might or Force of Magic, you don't lose the buff that lets you damage the entities that appear. So that's good. The appearance of the Earthshaker attack has been the visibility. So players get targeted with something and you just had to move away from the player and there was nothing on the ground to show it. So World of Darkness, the effect when destroying enemies has been adjusted. I'm going to need to see what that is. So let's toss World of Darkness on there as well. I'm not tossing Containment Bay S1T7 because it's the extreme mode, and I haven't done many if the extreme modes don't interest me much. I know it's probably something that should be a teachable moment as well, but the display of target indicators for certain battle mechanics has been adjusted for the following duties. Somal, the Vault, Never Reap, World of Darkness, Weeping City of Mahak, and Dun Sky. All right. So we've got to add Never Reap. And Dun Sky. Or Dun Sky if you want. Oh, Mahak. So I've got a feeling that this is just referring to things that target players. All right. The Trial, the Steps of Faith, has been removed and replaced with an instant single-player quest battle. All right. I fully agree with this. I like the fight. I hope they bring I don't like removing of content from games. I've never liked not being able to do fights again. If they added it as an extreme type thing that, a player can go into like Ultima's Ballad, that would be great. It will take longer for the screen to darken after a party KO during all trials and raid dungeons. This feature will allow players a grace period to better identify and understand the reasons behind the party KO. Good. I like that. PvP. All right. So PvP has become a lot more popular since the new feature was added, and yeah, so the job guide will now include further explanations of action changes and adjustments. Warrior, Bloodwetting. Portion of the damage absorbed as HP has been increased to 100%. Okay. Gunbreaker, Draw Injunction. Recast time has been reduced from 30 to 20 seconds. Monk, Meteor Drive. Time required to fill the limit gauge has been increased. Good. Yeah. Let's just say that Monk's being able to chain limit breaks was kind of annoying. One second. Had an eyelash that has been bugging me all day. Finally got it. Dragoon. Chaotic Spring. Portion of damage absorbed as HP has been increased to 150. Horrid Roar. Recast time has been reduced to 25 seconds. Samurai. Recast time of Hisatsu Chiten has been reduced to 25 seconds. Ninja Seiton Tenshu. The effect duration of unsealed Seiton Tenshu is now reduced by 1 second each time it is applied to the target, with a minimum duration of 4 seconds. Machinist, Chainsaw. Additional damage while under the effect of analysis has been reduced from 100% of the target's HP to 95% of the target's HP. Summoner, Slipstream, now grants increased movement speed to party members standing in the slipstream. White Mage, Afflatus Misery, potency has been increased to 12,000. Aqua Veil, barrier strength has been increased from a heal potency of 6,000 to 8,000. Miracle of Nature, range has been reduced to 15 yalms. Seraph Strike, potency has been increased to 8,000. Cure 3, potency has been increased to 16,000. Scholar, Adloquium, increased to potency has been changed from 10% to 8%, and Bialysis, increased potency has been changed from 10% to 8%. So Scholar's got a nerf, Machinist got a nerf. Seems like everybody else got a buff. I don't know what the Seiton Tenshu is. New PvP actions added. Astrologian, the Bull, reduces damage taken by self or target and nearby party members by 10%. Reduces weapon skill cast time, the Arrow, as well as spell cast time of self or target and nearby party members by 10%, while also increasing movement speed. Duration 10 seconds. Following PvP actions have been removed, the Ewer and the Spire. So, yeah, once again, Bards getting the short end of the stick, as they have in PvP for a long time. The following overall adjustments have been made to PvP actions. The effects of Heavy and Bind will now be applied more quickly. The grace period for executing combo actions has been increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Okay. Series 1 will end and Series 2 will begin. Series 2 will be held between patch 6.2 and 6.3, during which time you can earn Series XP and increase your Series level by participating in any PvP duty. Increasing your Series level will unlock various Series rewards. And if you are curious about this, it's just a list and you just unlock things as you go. Crystalline Conflict. Time remaining until KO'd party members are revived will now appear in the party list. Good. Players can now view adventure plates of opposing team by selecting opponents from the party list and using View Adventure Plate subcommand. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Quick Chat. Job names will now display using the following Quick Chat messages. So Limit Break and moving to the crystal. Small teaching moment right here. Crystalline Conflict. Fighting on the crystal is a good thing. Preventing the other people from being on the crystal is what you want to do, because you've got to push the crystal, or if you go into overtime, you want to prevent the enemy from being on the crystal. Following quick chat options have also been added. Executing a limit break, everyone group up. The following adjustments have been made to the rating system. Players who lose a match at Diamond 5 with 0 stars will now be demoted to Platinum 1 with 2 stars rising. Players who lose a match with no crystal credit will be demoted to Diamond 1 with 2 stars rising. The range of tiers used for ranking matchmaking has been adjusted. Further adjustments will be made according to player counts in each tier, as well as matchmaking conditions. Moreover, these changes will be made outside of regularly scheduled patches and maintenance. So, they're going to fix those on the fly. And that's going to be both good and bad. I say that because when doing the matchmaking system, you can't go in as a party. You've got to go in by yourself. And it feels like there are people that have joined who they're just there to lose for everybody else that's there. They do very little to do damage. One match I had 2 people that did 0 damage, 0 healing, and yeah, I reported them because that is specifically griefing players. And it's, if you're not going to join, or if you're not going to participate, don't join. To prevent the manipulation of matchmaking, the matching system algorithm has been adjusted. Okay, that's probably going to affect some friends that like to queue at the same time. To prevent the manipulation of matchmaking, a ranked match penalty has been instated. Players will incur a penalty by withdrawing when a match has been found or in the middle of a match. Players so penalized will be unable to register for 30 minutes after their first penalty, 90 minutes after their second, and 3 hours after the third. Withdrawing when a match is found. A penalty will be incurred starting from the first time a player withdraws. The penalty is only applicable to registration for ranked matches and will not affect the duty finder. A penalty to ranked matching will be incurred if you withdraw mid-match, and the penalty will also be applied to the duty finder. So if you decide, we're losing, I'm just going to leave, next half hour, and if you do it again, it's going to be 90 minutes that you can't do anything other than, yeah. So don't grief other players. I mean, if there's an emergency, it's understandable. But if you're losing, just take the loss. Just try your best, take the loss, and continue. Because, there are many instances where I know we're going to be losing. I still run out there and try my best. Limit break, try to target the one that I think is going to be going down the soonest, and just do what you can. Don't just throw your hands up and give up, okay? Season 2 will end and Season 3 will begin. When the season ends, the top 100 ranking players from each data center will receive vouchers via the Moogle delivery service. Players finishing in Bronze Tier or higher can claim rewards by speaking to the Feast Quartermaster in the Wolf's Den Pier. And you can learn about the rewards at a different site. Following the addition of demotions and adjustments to matchmaking Season 3, all tiered players will begin season at Bronze 3 with 0 risers. Beginning with Season 3, players will compete for rankings based upon their highest achieved tier and crystal score during the season rather than their final standings. Tier rewards will also be based upon the highest achieved tier during the season. Good. Good. So you don't have to get yourself to a certain point and then stop. You can get yourself to a point and continue doing it for fun. I really like that. Because if that were the case, I would be silver rank for Season 1. Again, people that decided to join and not do anything. It's like for every 2 wins that I would get 3 losses immediately after. Players will now receive portraits, achievements, and titles for all tiers and ranks up to and including their final standing at the end of the season. The Crystalline Conflict rankings page on the lodestone for Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond tiers will now always be sorted by victories. The portraits, achievements, and title rewards for all tiers and ranks up to and including the final standings of players in Season 1 will be unlocked automatically. The overall ranking page will continue to be ranked by tiers, risers, crystal credits, rising stars, and victories. Rival Wings. The Hidden Gorge campaign has been made available. Finally, they bring it back. Following PvP balance adjustments have been made. Mount speed has been increased. The Tank, Monk, Samurai, and Reaper modifier for damage taken has been changed from -20 to -30. The Dragoon and Ninja modifier damage taken has been changed from 15 to 30. The physical, range, DPS, healer, black mage, and summoner modifiers for damage taken has been changed from -10 to -15. Red mage, -10 to -15. The tank and melee DPS modifier for damage taken has been changed to -20 to -30. Physical range DPS, magical range DPS, and healer modifiers for damage taken has been changed from 0 to -15. 1 second. Throat is getting dry. The potency of Flying High status has been adjusted. The HP and actions of War Machina have been adjusted. The HP and actions of Mammoths, Gob Tanks, and Goblin Mercenaries has been adjusted. HP of the Towers and Cores has been adjusted. Actions of Steam Cannons have been adjusted. Potency of HP over time effects granted by Tower Defense effects has been adjusted. The damage over time effects of Magitech Fields has been adjusted. And the damage threshold required to obtain goblin mercenaries has been adjusted. If Rival Wings had been something that had been active this last patch, I would be able to tell you more about what this means. But as it sits, we'll just have to find out. All right. Items in patch 6.2 will be listed at a later date. New recipes have been added. They will be added at a later date. Oh, sorry, my throat just decided to crap out on me. Players can now preview the contents of certain coffers. Excuse me. Players can now preview the contents of certain coffers that yield multiple items when opened. Good. That's a very nice thing. Following item names have been changed. Imitation Alpine Window is now Imitation Highland Window. Shuffle or Boogie Orchestrian Roll is now Shuffle or Boogie Shadowbringers Orchestrian Roll. Default. Oh, great hiccups. Following items can now be equipped regardless of gender. Check out the list of items. Bit of good news. Capacity of Glamour Dresser has been increased from 400 to 800. Oh. Oh, why? So I got the hiccups now. This is going to be fun. Moonward gear can now be purchased in exchange for sacks of nuts in Old Charlian and Radzat Han. New items are available in exchange for Skybuilder scripts. So you talk to any in the firmament. Certain items can now be sold, desynthesized, or submit for expert delivery missions. So a lot of the stuff that you got from raids can now be turned in that you couldn't do it before. The maximum store for crafter scripts and gatherer scripts is... Yes! Good! 2000 was annoying. New recipes requiring a sufficient level of quality to complete synthesis have been added. Alright, new master recipes have been added. Looks like I need to get to crafting again. A master recipe tab has been added to the crafting log window. The master recipe previously listed on the special recipes tab has been moved into their own tab of crafting log window. Good. I like that because it was annoying. New miner and botanist gathering points have been added. New items have been added to gathering points. Gathering attempts and integrity bonuses have been added to certain legendary nodes. Botanists and miners may now discover prime collectibles when exploring, or when gathering. Prime collectibles are items that have reached maximum collectability will on occasion become sublime collectibles when gathered. A higher gathering rate increases your chance of primes becoming sublime. Prime collectible items that have reached maximum collectability have a chance of yielding exceedingly rare items from ethereal reduction. When using sublime collectibles, you are guaranteed to receive these rare items. Okay, so that is for crafting, mainly. Collectibles window, the collectibles gathering window has been adjusted. Okay, what has been changed? Current value. I'm not seeing what's changed. Okay, it looks the same to me. New fish can be gathered. New fish can be used for ethereal reduction. New varieties of fish have been added. The level cap for desynthesis has increased to 610. New mounts have been added. Oh joy, I get to collect all of the mandragoras. The following adjustments have been made to the mount guide. The number of mounts displayed on a single page is now 30. The maximum number of favorites has been increased to 30. Up to 6 mount actions can now be displayed at once when riding a mount. New minions. Whatever that is, it's adorable. I want one. The number of minions on the minion guide page has been increased, and the amount of favorites has been increased. New accessories have been added. Oh, okay, so that's what that means. Front and back. So we've got new fairy wings. New actions can be performed while holding an umbrella. Players can now use emotes while using fashion accessories. Special actions that can be used with the fashion accessories can be confirmed in the fashion window accessory. Okay, so it will show you what emotes it can specifically be used with. All right, we're almost done. The following adjustments have been made to the data center travel system. The wait time to retrieve information after selecting world has been reduced. The time required to travel may vary depending upon world congestion. Players can now receive notifications for letters from friends and GMs even when visiting other worlds within the data center. Okay, for letters containing bonuses or purchased items, you must be in your home world. So if you got something from the item store, you have to be on your home world to collect it. The following additions and adjustments have been made to retainers. New items can now be obtained from quick exploration ventures. New retainer exploration ventures have been added. The error message displayed when attempting to entrust retainers with a unique item already in their possession has been adjusted. New achievements have been added. Certain duties will now count towards completion of achievements. Furthermore, Ultima's Bane Unreal is no longer required. Okay, so the tanking achievements have been changed just to allow for more. The official release version of Adventurer's Plates has been implemented. The Adventurer Plate interface allows you to create and personalize a calling card by which to introduce yourself to other players. View a player's Adventure Plate by targeting them and selecting the View Adventure Plate subcommand. Portraits applied to Adventure Plates from the beta version will carry over to the official release. Good, I don't want to have to try to remake that one. I've got one that, everybody just appreciates, or, yeah. Additions and adjustments from beta. A portrait specifically for Adventure Plates has been added. New portrait accents have been added. Search comments can now be edited directly when editing Adventure Plates. Viewing the Adventure Plate. From the main menu, select Adventure Plate or target the character and select View Adventure Plate from the sub-command menu. While there are a myriad of options available to customize your Adventure Plate, additional options can be unlocked via rewards from certain duties. Editing the portraits. Capturing the appearance of your Warrior of Light by customizing poses, movements, camera angles, backgrounds, framing, lighting, and more. You may save a variety of different portraits with an additional portrait designed specifically for your Adventurer Plate. The gear shown in your Adventurer Plate portrait is based on what you have equipped at the time it is initially saved. Finally, to update the gear in your Adventure Plate portrait, select Reflect Current Gear. One thing that was bugging the crap out of me is I made one. I'm going to have to go back and get the staff if I got rid of it. I made one that was dependent on a certain item being equipped, and if not, it just looks really weird. And with the item equipped, it actually looks pretty funny. Plate design. In addition to portraits, you may also customize various design elements of your Adventure Plate, including backgrounds, pattern overlays, and portrait frames. You may customize an Adventure Plate profile with information about your favorite job, title, playstyle, active hours, and more. You may edit your search comment, which will be displayed on your Adventure Plate. You can set limits on who may view your Adventure Plate. By default, your priorities can be viewed by all players. Your portraits can be viewed by all players. The setting can be restricted to friends only or no one. The official release of portraits has been added. Customize portraits for each of your gear sets using a variety of poses, movements, camera angles, backgrounds, frame, lighting, and more. These portraits will be displayed at the start of Crystalline Conflict matches and Doman Mahjong. Additions and adjustments from the beta. Portraits can be edited from the main menu after unlocking gear sets. Players are allotted one portrait for every gear set created. All settings other than equipped gear can be copied to other portraits. New portrait motions have been added. New portrait accents have been added. The display of required for framer kits has been adjusted. From the main menu, select portraits and open the list of available portraits. They are sorted in according to your gear sets. Select the portrait you wish to edit, then edit portrait from the subcommand menu. Using as an instant portrait. When enabled, portraits will be applied as your instant portrait when the gear set is equipped. Portraits that meet the following criteria will be marked with a warning symbol. These portraits must either be edited or restored by default to default settings. Portraits that have never been edited prior to patch 6.2. Portraits whose gear makeup has changed and been overwritten. Portraits that no longer match your character's appearance after the use of File of Fantasia. It is possible to copy settings other than equipped gear to other portraits. Players can now request gear repairs from party and alliance. Oh, wonderful. Players can now request gear repairs from party or alliance members. Requests must be made in areas where repairing gear is permitted. Players may then offer gear whose durability is below 100% to have it repaired, adding 100% to its durability. Players on the free trial cannot use this feature, so... making requests. Select the player to whom you wish to send a request, then send the repair request from the subcommand menu. In the window that appears, select the gear you wish to have repaired, set a reward, then select submit request. After submitting the request, the selected player can repair your gear. The list of items to offer to repair will only include gear whose durability is less than 100. If the selected player does not meet the requirements to repair a piece of gear, it will appear grayed out in the list. The repair request menu will display the number of dark matter to be consumed, as well as the number owned by the player who will repair the gear. If the player conducting the repairs has insufficient dark matter, a higher grade will be consumed. So, yeah, if you don't have like grade 1 and they're giving you something low level to repair, it'll use your highest grade, which, you know, I never carry anything less than grade 8 on me these days. You can offer a reward for repair of your gear. You can offer a reward for repair of your gear up to a maximum of 1 million gil. I see possibilities of this being exploited by real money traders, but we will find out. In order to prevent server congestion immediately after the release of patch 6.2, we will be implementing multiple field instances of Laura Lenaskia. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the currency window. The order in which currencies will cycle on the HUD can be adjusted via arrow buttons in the currency setting windows. An option to select the default currency displayed on the HUD has been added. Okay. So that will be fun. So instead of having the gil constantly in the lower corner or wherever you have your gil set, it can be something else. New dungeons are available for Explorer mode. So if you want to do some exploring and get some glamour shots done in dungeons, it looks like it's most of the old stuff and Felcourt. Most of the hard dungeons that were added in the original 2.x releases. The duties that can be recorded have changed from the Mother Crystal, Final Day, and Asphodelis Fourth Circle Savage, and now Aglaia has been added and the Final Day is no longer there. The Promote to Cross-World Link Shell Master subcommand has been added. Okay, that's good. When changing the following search criteria in the Party Finder window, a confirmation prompt will now be displayed selecting Cancel without saving your settings. Roles, filter settings, and detailed search. All right, the following adjustments have been made to the subcommand on the character selection screen. Delete character subcommand is moved. It is now under the More subcommands. And the confirmation prompt displayed when selecting options is a subcommand menu has been adjusted. Colorblind support for markers on the map. So the blue may not have appeared for you. They've darkened it. Hopefully that will help people that have difficulty seeing. It looks like they did a lighter blue on the outside circle for that, and then darker blue on the inside. And the red, all they did was darken it, but that might be enough. And then green, They darken the outside circle and the inside. So, after selecting an option in the drop-down list that allows scrolling, the position of the cursor when reopening the drop-down list has been adjusted to display the previous and the next options. The following adjustments have been made for the prompts for accepting friend requests. The prompt will now have 3 options: accept, wait, or decline. When choosing to respond to a friend via friend request, via the friend list tab of the social window, the accept friend request subcommand has been changed to respond to friend request. The following features have been implemented to improve graphics processing. Graphics processing optimization. Frame rate when under higher GPU load has been improved. Dynamic resolution has been implemented. When the GPU is under heavy load causing the frame rate drop, the 3D resolution will be reduced incrementally to improve frame rate. This feature can be enabled under the graphics setting tab of the system configuration menu. It cannot be applied in certain situations such as when using group pose. This feature is still in beta, so it's not going to be fully implemented until after it has gone through testing. Following options have been added to the character configuration menu. Enable dynamic resolution, which is what that is, I think. Following options have been added to the character configuration menu. Hotbar display setting. Display recast times. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the staff credits. The game credits will now include their date of release. The controls and control guide for staff credits have been improved, allowing navigation with modified key bindings. The stream overlay will now appear when loading the game via Steam. Or the Steam overlay will now appear. The Steam overlay, if you don't know what Steam overlay is, it's your choice to use it. I fucking hate it. But you need it to run certain games or certain features in certain games. Following text commands have been added. Spirit shows off your team spirit. The additions have been made to the auto translation dictionary. Good. Better communication. Additions have been made to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 autocomplete dictionary. New trophies have been added to PS5. New music, sound effects, and voice have been added. Alright. We're going to go through the resolved issues. We're not going to go through the... Well, we'll go through the known issues too. Alright, following issues have been addressed. An issue when undertaking duties via... And my throat decides to do its thing. We're almost done. This is the last section. An issue when undertaking duties via duty support or the trust system wherein the NPC in the healing role did not cast Isuna on themselves when afflicted with status ailments. An issue wherein Chocobo companions were not recalled when their HP reached 0 under certain circumstances. An issue in the duties Alexander, the Burden of the Father Savage, and Emanation, wherein damage of certain attacks was not downscaled. An issue when when playing as a warrior in PvE where the action icons for Chaotic Cyclone and Inner Chaos were illuminated despite not being ready for certain conditions. An issue where playing as a Dragoon in PvE wherein the action Spine Shatter Dive, could not be executed after Dragonfire Dive under certain conditions. An issue when playing as the Astrologian in PvE wherein the limit gauge did not fill when using the action Lady of the Crowns or Celestial Opposition on party members close to death. An issue when playing as Sage in PvE wherein queuing the action Zoe while casting Pneuma caused the effect of Zoe to be applied and immediately end when Pneumo had been executed. To address this issue, the character motions when executing Pneuma have also been adjusted. An issue when playing in PvP duties wherein party members under the effect of Hide cannot be targeted by actions executed via macros under certain conditions. An issue when playing as Paladin in PvP wherein the healing effect of Confiteor was affected by opponent's status effects. An issue when playing in PvP duties wherein the counter effect of the Gunbreaker action Nebula and the Samurai action Hisatsu Chiten was affected by opponents' status effects. An issue when playing in PvP duties wherein the counter effect of Gunbreaker action Nebula and the Samurai action Hisatsu Chiten could not be triggered under certain conditions. An issue when playing in PvP duties wherein the additional damage of Monk action Meteo Dive was not reduced by barrier effects. Oh, okay. So that explains certain things, like taking maximum damage from a Monk's Limit Break. Makes sense now. An issue when playing PvP duties wherein the Dragoon under the effects of Sky High could not be afflicted with Heavy Binder half asleep until under certain conditions. An issue when playing as Ninja in PvP wherein the status effect Unsealed Seiton Tenchu could not be applied to opponents under certain conditions. An issue when playing as Ninja in PvP wherein the action Meisui was not affected by status effects that increase or decrease healing potency. An issue when playing as Black Mage in PvP wherein the heavy effect applied by the action Super Flare could be overwritten by other heavy effects with shorter duration. An issue when playing as Black Mage in PvP wherein using the action Paradox did not refresh the duration of Astral Warmth or Umbral Freeze applied to the target. An issue wherein the PvP and PvE action text descriptions were incorrect. The effects of the actions have not changed. An issue wherein the graphics for certain female Lalafell face types did not display correct under certain conditions. I need to see screenshots of that or videos. An issue wherein the graphics of the Far Eastern officer's hat did not display correctly when worn by Aura characters. An issue wherein the graphics of certain gear did not display properly. An issue wherein certain indoor or outdoor furnishings were categorized incorrectly. An issue when viewing portraits wherein the visual effects of weapons were prioritized over character models. As a result of addressing this issue, the camera for portraits will now appear slightly closer to character models, which may cause portraits prior to patch 6.2 to display incorrectly. Players who experience issues with camera positioning in their portraits will need to edit and readjust them. An issue when viewing portraits wherein characters' breathing is visible under certain conditions. Oh, but that was something that you did on purpose. You go to the cold where your breath is being seen and you capture that in your portrait. An issue wherein the music played in certain residential areas is incorrect. I experienced that. An issue wherein certain active help descriptions were incorrect. Other minor text issues have been addressed. Other various issues have also been, known issues. These are the things that we might run into. An issue when undertaking the quest Seeking Sanctuary wherein only the quest icon will display in the recommendations window under certain conditions. An issue when leaving an island sanctuary wherein accepting the prompt to leave an island sanctuary after you have matched to join an instance duty will disconnect you from the server. An issue wherein players cannot retrieve rewards from the achievement window while on an island sanctuary. So if you're going to be doing anything, don't be on an island sanctuary, basically. Players cannot recruit for or disband a party limited to a specific world when the party leader is on an island sanctuary. An issue when selecting an island sanctuary to visit wherein the names of characters visiting other worlds do not display correctly. An issue when selecting an island sanctuary to visit wherein players in cross-world party are not presented with the option to select from a list of party members. Under normal circumstances, players are able to use the world visit system to travel to the world of a cross-world party member and visit their island sanctuary. Due to this issue, however, the option to do so will not appear while in a cross-world party. Until the issue is resolved, players must first use the world visit system and form a party with recruiting limited to the world server before visiting the island sanctuary. An issue when viewing the map or mini-map on an island sanctuary wherein the tooltips do not display and placing the cursor on quest icons. An issue wherein players who enter an instance duty or log out from the game while on island sanctuary will return to the island at a different location under certain conditions. An issue wherein certain graphics within island sanctuary do not display properly. Are all of these island sanctuary? No, they're not. Okay. An issue on island sanctuary where the level of ambient environment sounds does not change when entering buildings. An issue wherein players cannot enter or leave PvP teams, create cross-world link shells, or create fellowships while on the island sanctuary. An issue when requesting gear repairs wherein a blank confirmation prompt erroneously displays under certain conditions. This prompt is meant to notify players that a higher grade of dark matter will be consumed. Accepting the gear repair request will use the correct grade of dark matter. Okay. An issue when using group pose wherein characters using certain emotes will not stop moving when paused under certain conditions. An issue when previewing portraits wherein activation modes, an issue when previewing portraits wherein activating motions causes characters' models to stop blinking. An issue wherein certain active help descriptions were not updated to remove mention of beast tribes. Alright. There's a lot to take in there. I mean, a lot. I've been doing this for an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it informative. If you want to see more Final Fantasy XIV videos, please like, follow, and subscribe. The usual YouTube stuff. To catch me live, check out my Twitch, link in the description. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.